Hey, thanks for clicking on this video. I want to talk about depression. And I know a lot of people suffer from depression. Depression is one of those things that is very unfortunate. It really takes a toll on your energy and how you feel emotionally and how you can carry out your day to day life. I, at one point, was diagnosed with depression. And so I just wanted to have kind of a more real video about depression because it can get really serious. And when you're in that space of not knowing if tomorrow is going to be better, or if it's ever going to get better, I just want to make this video just in case someone happens to stumble upon it, just so you know that I was there. Not many people talk about it because everyone's afraid to talk about it. And I think a lot of people don't see it as something that's real because it's just about emotions, and our our society and our culture just doesn't value emotions. In fact, our culture devalues emotions. But really, when it comes to depression and anxiety, because that's also very real, it's just you are picking up on the energy around you, and you're very sensitive to it. And this is a really great strength, but around the wrong people, it can be torture. And I totally get it. But you're just picking up on the environment and the people who are in your space to the point of not being able to process everything. And it makes you feel drained. And it's not your fault. It's not your fault that you feel that way. You may be the only one that feels that way, but it's not your fault. And a lot of the times, the cure is to get out of the environment. It's almost like the moment you hang out with really awesome people who understand you, your depression no longer exists, right? So that's a clear sign that it's not you. It's literally the people or the environment. If it's not the people around you and you're just depressed, you're probably picking up on energies that you can't see. If you're doing that, I have a video on how to pick up on lingering energies. I talk about it in a way where if someone doesn't know how to pick up on lingering energies, they could learn. But if you already do that and you're just really sensitive to the energies that you're picking up, maybe that video can still help you. Maybe in some other kind of way. But I also make videos on angels and guidance, and maybe just shifting your attention not on the sadness that you feel and the emptiness, because it plays such a big part of your life that it's really hard not to focus on it. But when I had to get over depression, I started focusing my energy on what I wanted to do to make myself happy. And a lot of that was just being as creative as possible. Hanging out with the best people that I knew. And if you feel that the people you know aren't the best people to hang out with, then start manifesting some actual good friends. And you do that when you get into your creative space. So find your creative space. You may think, oh, I'm not that creative. I'm not good at anything. And you probably are. You're probably just being a little too hard on yourself. But most likely, if you just find something that really drives your passion, and we all have that one thing that drives our passion, there's something. And if it's very dark and it's the only thing, then that's your something, unfortunately. I mean, not unfortunately, but if you have a very dark take on the world and you prefer to keep things dark, I mean, I understand as a Scorpio how that works, honestly. But you just want to make sure that everyone around you is safe. But other than that, as long as you're not hurting anyone, whatever you decide to do to fill your passion is what you should do. And when you do that, you'll, over time of you consistently doing that, you'll end up attracting those people who resonate with you on that same frequency. And that's how you meet your soul families. That's how you meet your soulmates and all those other awesome people. I kind of did talk about soulmates. Actually, I titled it "Where's My Soulmate?" or actually, I titled it "Why Seeds Don't Grow." And I'll paste the link of that video in the description. So you can also check that out. I was a little like, I was just a little frustrated in that video when I was making it. But either way, I have my moments where I'm kind of down, and I just find a way to be as creative as possible. Because sometimes it feels like you have depression and then it goes away, but then things happen in life and it just comes back. And it's like an up and down kind of roller coaster ride. And when I had depression, I was kind of young. I was like a teenager, and I took medication for it. But later, while taking medication, I don't even think I was taking that big of a dosage. It was just like a test dosage. I mean, it was enough for me to have side effects that I did not like. I do not like antidepressants. It keeps your body from doing what it naturally needs to do. And at that time, when I was depressed, very depressed all the time, all I wanted to do was all I knew that could help me at that moment was crying and feeling. And it was weird because even though people, couldn't take my crying or couldn't take that I was feeling certain ways, that's all I knew at that moment. But when you take those medications, it stops you from being able to do that. And they put fluoride in some of those medications. And this is how I learned that fluoride actually alters your brain in a negative way, because it was the main ingredient in antidepressants, but yet we use that in toothpaste. So I learned at an early age that there was just something wrong, and I was picking up on it, but since no one understood, it was just very hard for me to be understood and to have the support I actually needed. And so my environment just wasn't helping me. But then when I started getting more creative, which I already was creative, but the moment I decided that I was going to focus and be more in my heart space, because that's where things were guiding me. I just knew that I was more sensitive to my environment than a lot of other people. Then I started finding my soul family. I found my best friends, and I'm still best friends with them to this day. And I didn't get one, but I got two, and they're twins. So it just really helped my heart to be creative, and then to finally resonate on a frequency that I wanted, that allowed me to attract the kind of people that ended up being permanent into my life. And I did talk about this in the angels video that I made. I'll also paste that link in the description down below as well. Because when you allow timing to take part in your manifestations, you can't force things, and you do follow your heart or your guidance, your intuition, because this is how your higher self does talk to you. When you do listen to your higher self and you take its guidance, or your angels, your spirit guides, whatever you like to refer to those beings as, those conscious energies that help you and protect you, then the things that do come into resonance with you and stay will be permanent. And that's why I encourage you to look at that video, because you'll have the most permanent things that fulfill you stay in your life when you just truly listen to your heart, and you do the things that fulfill your heart space, and you act on it. And a lot of people just won't understand you, because you're coming from a place that is your heart space. Your heart, unlike your brain, doesn't operate on that logical level. So people may think you're weird. I know I was a weird art girl, but I also like to skate, and um, I like doing all kinds of crazy stuff. Like, the people in my environment just didn't understand me. Okay, like I would do everything in my heart space. Like, I think like all teenagers. I'm not sure about nowadays, but at least me and the people I knew, like I used to listen to metal and death metal, and I know I talk about spirituality a lot, but I'm not talking about spirituality to come off as a spiritual guru who says namaste and is always positive to the point of it being annoying and all that. I'm I'm spiritual because I understand it, because it's like the universe's first language. And when you understand spirituality, everything that happens on a physical level just starts making sense. And my last video, I kind of went on a rant about it, which is pretty funny. But, well, it was kind of serious actually. But I was still in my heart space making that video. And whatever helped me in that moment is what it's going to be. So if you have something that you want to do to express yourself, do it in the best way you can. Do it in a way where you know it invokes your passion. Because the moment you start creating your masterpieces from the things that invoke a lot of emotions from you, then you make original work. You make work that is priceless. And I know I've said that in a few videos, but I'm also gonna reference ways to initiate healing a broken heart. I think that's what the video was called. I'll put that in there too. And hopefully this video and those videos can help someone if you are having problems getting over depression, even anxiety, because depression and anxiety, they are different, but it's the same where you just pick up on the environment and it's almost like you're trying to process it, but you're unsure how to, because you're taking in so much of what you're feeling, and that doesn't make it so then there's something wrong with you. It just means that you have this strength, and because it's not looked at as socially acceptable, you're just not sure how to express it. And like, I mean, I can understand that. Like, other people, there are people who have a hard time dealing with people who are sensitive to the environment in general. Like, there are people who just don't understand how to be there for people. But when you think of it in terms of spirituality, everything just makes more sense. And it just makes more sense to be able to deal with life from a spiritual perspective than to try to start on the physical level. Because if you start on a physical level and try to interpret feelings and emotions at that starting point, you're coming at the problems at the wrong angle. Like, a lot of people think that, oh, you can just prescribe a pill for it, but you're coming at the problem at the wrong angle. If you come at it at a spiritual level, you will understand a lot more what is going on around you and with you. And so there are many ways to heal from depression, besides just being creative, but I think that one's the best one. Honestly, I started really caring about my health, my body, my soul, like who I want to be and the person that I want to evolve into. And just seeing how the people around me was taking my depression at that time, it would be like long periods of time just being depressed and people not knowing how to deal with it. But just seeing how they deal with it, I would start evaluating that and realizing that I wanted to handle it differently. Like, I think it's time for a new outlook on this, because obviously it's not working. If I'm definitely not the first person in my family to be depressed. They say it's genetic, which I I can't debunk science right now on that because I haven't looked too much into it, but I mean, yeah, there is a trend, unfortunately. But I think the moment you decide to do something different is when you start healing that family karma. You have to come at it at a different perspective. You can't think of the same, you can't do the same thing over and over and over again. That's called insanity. You have to come at it at a different angle, and just know that if you are feeling, you're picking up on the environment, you're feeling things, you're in tune with the emotions that are being suppressed. You may even just be in tune with the family karma, and it's just being passed on to you as a burden, and you are probably feeling something that you're actually meant to heal. So think about that. You're probably just meant to heal this karma that's been passed down, and you are here to discover the key to unlocking a new way of thinking. So hopefully this helps someone out there. 16 minutes in, it's not bad, but um, I would like to get more into it in later videos, but hopefully this video helps someone. If you do watch any of my videos and like them, hit the thumbs up button, because that's how I know you guys are watching and you guys are hearing me, and that there are people out there who get it. If you comment, I usually like to comment back. Other than that, I will see you hopefully in one of those videos or in my next one. You take care.